Be me, 32M, senior curator for a conceptual art gallery in Chelsea, New York City. Rent is astronomical, paid mostly by a trust fund I don't mention.
Tell everyone I made it on my own through a synthetic rigor and curatorial vision. Wear exclusively Rick Owens and Yoji Yamamoto. Look like a vampire who listens to too much minimal techno.
My apartment is a brutalist concrete loft in Soho. No color allowed.
Furniture is uncomfortable mid-century Italian steel. My life is a curated exhibit of post-human intellectual superiority. Read Foucault and Baudrillard for fun. View emotions as chemical defects of the lower classes.
Believe I am the arbiter of taste. If I say a pile of garbage is high art, it sells for $50,000.
If I say a painting is derivative, the artist's career is over before lunch. Enter Leo, 24M.
Found him 2 years ago in a mechanic shop in Queens. My vintage Porsche 911 broke down. He was the mechanic. Covered in grease, wearing a stained undershirt, smoking a Marlboro Red. Saw him sketching on a napkin during his break. Charcoal sketches of city pigeons. Rough, visceral. Totally unrefined, but possessed a frantic energy I hadn't seen in the sterilized white cubes of Manhattan. He looked like a young Brando. Beautiful in a dirty, broken way. I didn't see a boyfriend. I saw a project. I saw raw material waiting to be sculpted, asked him out for a drink. He hesitated, looked at his dirty hands. I told him I liked the grit. It was authentic. Fast forward 6 months, he moved into the loft. Quit the mechanic job. I became his patron, his lover, his mentor, his god. Decided to elevate him. The rehabilitation began immediately. First, the clothes. Threw out his band t-shirts and worn-out denim.
You're an artist now, Leo. You need a uniform.
Dressed him in oversized black linen tunics and drop-crotch trousers. He looked uncomfortable, like a child playing dress-up in a monk's robe. I told him he looked architectural. Next, the speech. He used words like cool or sad, corrected him relentlessly. Don't say it's cool, Leo. Say it's referential. Don't say you're sad. Say you're experiencing existential dissonance. Bought him a reading list. Theory, criticism, philosophy. Forced him to read Derrida before bed. He'd struggle with the dense academic jargon, brow furrowed. I'd sigh. Take the book and explain what he was supposed to think. You can't paint if you don't understand the semiotics of the image, Leo. Your intuition is a crutch. You need intention. Then the art. He wanted to paint portraits of his friends from Queens. Wanted to paint dogs, street corners, old cars. I shut it down. Figurative art is dead, Leo. It's bourgeois sentimentality. We are in the post-image era. I guided his hand. Pushed him toward abstraction, minimalism, void spaces, made him paint giant canvases of just white texture, or solid black squares with a single red line. He hated it. Said he felt nothing when he painted them. That's the point, I told him, sipping natural wine that tasted like barnyard runoff. Art isn't about your feelings, it's about the discourse. It's about the negation of the self. He nodded, eyes empty. He stopped sketching pigeons. He stopped humming while he worked. The dynamic was set. I was the director. He was the talent. I managed his schedule. I managed his diet. Cut out carbs, he was looking too soft. I managed his social circle. Cut off his friends from Queens. They hold you back, Leo. They don't understand your trajectory. Replaced them with my friends. Sasha, a fashion editor who eats 2 almonds a day. Julian, a trust fund kid who buys art to launder money. They treated Leo like an exotic pet. Oh, he's so rough, Sasha would whisper. So authentic. They spoke about him while he was sitting right there. Leo would sit in silence, wearing his $800 architectural shirt, drinking sparkling water. Whenever he tried to speak, he'd look at me first, checking for approval, waiting for the nod. If he said something wrong, like mentioning he liked a Marvel movie, I'd give him the look. The look that says, "You are embarrassing me." He'd shut down immediately. Apologize, recede into the background. I felt benevolent. I was civilizing him, giving him access to a world he could never dream of. Flashback to 3 months ago. First solo exhibition. The gallery is packed. White walls, bright lights, bad champagne. Leo's paintings are on the wall. 12 massive canvases of gray static. Title, Entropy of the Urban Soul. My title, obviously. Critics are raving.
So restrained. A brave rejection of the narrative. Leo is standing in the corner. He looks pale, gaunt. I've kept him on a strict regimen of espresso and kale for weeks to prepare for the opening. I walk over to him. Smile, babe, you're a star. He looks at me with dead eyes. I don't know what these paintings mean, he whispers. I laugh, patting his cheek. They mean whatever the buyer wants them to mean. That's the beauty. A collector approaches. Asks Leo about his inspiration. Leo opens his mouth. I cut in. Leo is exploring the liminal space between digital noise and organic decay. I say smoothie. The collector nods, mesmerized. Writes a check for $20,000. Leo walks away, goes to the bathroom, stays there for 40 minutes. I find him splashing cold water on his face. Get it together, I hiss. Julian is asking for you. I want to go home, he says. You are home, I reply. This is your world now, present day. Something is wrong in the loft. The silence is heavy. Used to be a studious silence. Now it feels like a vacuum. Leo spends hours staring out the window at the brick wall opposite us. He stopped painting. Just sits in the studio, holding a clean brush. Sex has evaporated. Used to be passionate, rough. Now he barely lets me touch him. Says he's tired. Says he feels hollow. I tell him it's just imposter syndrome. It's part of the process, Leo. Suffering creates depth. I buy him a new easel. I book us a trip to Art Basel. I try to motivate him with criticism. You're stagnating. The market moves fast. You need a new series. Maybe try blue monochrome this time. He doesn't respond. Just looks at his hands. His hands are clean now. Manicured, soft. The grease stains are gone. The calluses from the mechanic work are gone. He hates his hands. I catch him scrubbing them until they're red, trying to find the grit again. Tuesday night. I come home from a dinner with a museum board. Leo is in the living room. He's watching a tutorial on YouTube. How to fix a transmission on a '69 Ford. He closes the laptop when I walk in. Hey, I say, hanging up my trench coat. Hey, what were you watching? Nothing. Don't lie to me, Leo. I saw the engine, he sighs. Just reminded me of work. I pour myself a whiskey. You mean your old job? You don't work there anymore. You're an artist, yeah. Did you finish the commission for the bank lobby? No. Leo, they need that canvas by Friday. I can't do it. What do you mean you can't do it? It's just gray squares. You can do it in your sleep. He looks up at me. First time in months he actually meets my eyes. That's the problem. I can do it in my sleep. It's not real. It pays real money. I don't care about the money. I laugh. A sharp, cruel bark. Easy to say when you live in a $10,000 a month loft rent-free. Easy to say when I pay for your organic groceries and your linen pants. He flinches. Good. He needs a reality check. You think you can go back to fixing cars? You think that will fulfill you? Being a grease monkey? I liked fixing things, he says quietly. At least when I fixed a car, it ran. It did something. This, he gestures to the studio. This is just decoration for rich people to feel smart. I slam my glass down. How dare you? I have dedicated my life to this. I have dedicated my life to you. I made you. You were nothing. You were sketching pigeons on napkins. I gave you a voice. No, he says, standing up. You gave me your voice. And I'm sick of hearing it. He walks into the bedroom. I stay in the living room, seething. Ungrateful. Philistine. He doesn't understand the sacrifice. He doesn't understand the intellectual labor I put into his brand. I decide to give him the silent treatment, punish him with my absence. I sleep in the guest room. Wake up the next morning. Expect him to be making coffee, apologetic. The loft is quiet. Too quiet. Go to the bedroom. Bed is made. Military precision. Go to the closet. His black linen tunics are there. His Rick Owens sneakers are there. Everything I bought him is there. I check the drawers. His old clothes, the ones I thought I threw out, are gone. He must have fished them out of the donation pile months ago and hid them. I check the studio. Canvases are slashed, not with a knife. Painted over. Big, crude, angry red lines crossed out over the gray voids, and in the center of the room, on the pristine concrete floor, a charcoal drawing, a pigeon, but it's dead, head twisted. Beside it, a note. It's not referential, it's just a dead bird. Goodbye. Panic. Real, clawing panic. I call him. Straight to voicemail. I call Sasha. Have you seen Leo? No, darling. Is everything okay? He's having an episode. The artistic temperament. I try to spin it. Control the narrative. I track his phone. Disabled. I check his bank account. He hasn't touched the money I transferred him. He took nothing. Just himself and his old rags. I sit on the expensive Italian sofa. I feel insulted. How could he leave this? This is the dream. This is the pinnacle of culture. He chose Greece and poverty over relevance. It's irrational. It's offensive. 2 weeks pass. I tell people he's on a research retreat in Berlin, creating anticipation for his next phase. I drink more. The loft feels like a tomb. I look at the slashed paintings. I should throw them out. But I don't. I stare at them. The anger in the red paint. It's the first thing he's painted in 2 years that actually makes me feel something. It makes me feel afraid. I hire a private investigator, not because I miss him, because I need closure, because I need to know he's miserable. I need to know he failed. Investigator finds him in 3 days. He's not in Berlin. He's in Newark, working at a body shop, living in a studio apartment above a deli. I get the address. Friday afternoon. I dress in my most intimidating outfit. Full archival Yamamoto. Look like a dark wizard of capitalism. Drive the Porsche, the one he fixed, to Newark. The neighborhood is loud, colorful, dirty. Sensory overload. I park in front of the body shop. I see him. He's under a Honda Civic. He slides out on a creeper. He's wearing a blue jumpsuit, grease on his face. Hair messy, grown out. He stands up, wipes his hands on a rag. He's laughing. Talking to another mechanic, a guy with a beer gut. Leo looks solid. He looks heavier. Muscles back. The hollow look in his eyes is gone. He lights a cigarette, inhales deeply. He looks at peace. I get out of the car. Walk over. The contrast is absurd. Me, a $5,000 coat. Him, a $20 jumpsuit. He sees me. Smile drops. But he doesn't look scared. He doesn't look like the puppy I trained. He looks indifferent. What do you want? He asks. Voice is deeper. The affectation I taught him is gone. Leo, we need to talk. I'm working. You're wasting your talent. You're throwing away a career people kill for. He laughs. I'm fixing a radiator. It's useful. The guy needs his car to get to work. It's manual labor. It's beneath you. No, he says, stepping closer. It's real. Metal is real. Heat is real. You're not real. I made you a star. You made me a prop. He flicks his cigarette ash near my boot. I painted what you told me to paint. I said what you told me to say. I forgot who I was. I was refining you. I scream. People are staring. I don't care. I was teaching you taste. You were teaching me to hate myself, he says calmly. Go home. Go back to your white box. Go talk about semiotics with Sasha. I'm happy here. You're covered in filth. Yeah. He looks at his hands. Black with oil, but it washes off. The sheesh you put on me? That never comes off. He turns his back on me, slides back under the Honda, clanging of tools. The other mechanic looks at me. You heard the man. Move along, Dracula. I stand there, furious, trembling, waiting for him to realize his mistake. Waiting for him to crawl back and beg for the espresso machine and the gallery openings. He doesn't. He starts whistling, a melody, something cheerful. I get back in my Porsche, drive back to the city. Traffic is a nightmare. I get back to the loft. It's pristine. It's perfect. It's silent. I pour a glass of wine. Sit in the Eames chair, open a book of theory. The simulacra and simulation, lines blur together. I look at the wall where his entropy painting used to hang. It's just a blank concrete wall now. I realize something terrifying. The loft isn't minimalist. It's empty. I have no friends, just contacts. I have no lover, just a demographic. I have no art, just products. I look at my hands. Clean. Soft. Useless. I try to cry. Can't. It would be too sentimental. It would be kitsch. So I just sit there, perfectly curated, perfectly alone. I whisper to the empty room. It's a commentary on isolation in late-stage capitalism. Nobody is there to nod. Nobody is there to be impressed. Just the hum of the HVAC system and the memory of a dead pigeon drawn on a napkin. The only real thing I ever owned, and I threw it away.